Today, in the nerdy news you need to know about, Pokémon is doing a Presents next week. PlayStation is firing back at an ex-Bungie dev, and Tim's dreams are coming true. We'll have all this and more because this is Kinda Funny Games Daily. What's up, everybody? Welcome to Kinda Funny Games Daily for Thursday, February 20th, 2025. I'm one of your hosts, Greg Miller, alongside Forbes 30 Under 30, a.k.a. the second best baby blues in San Francisco, a.k.a. the married one at Tim Geddes.
Let Tim host.
Hello, Tim. How are you?
I'm doing very well. How are you?
I'm great. I said it before and I'll say it again. I love this outfit.
Thank you.
You walked in, I said it because
Appreciate
you know what? It screams Easter to me.
I'm an Easter boy right now.
It screams spring.
You can't. You
Kevin
don't know what
saw
the shirt
his shadow, but it's a white shirt.
I want to show you what it is.
Uh-oh. Everybody, this shirt isn't just a normal white shirt. If you're an audio listener, it's a White Lotus shirt. Whoa. The White Lotus Thailand. Whoa. Where'd you get this one, Timmy?
Abercrombie and Fitch.
Abercrombie and Fitch. It's not
They're cool
just
again.
Young children shirtless anymore. Are they cool again? Is that come back around?
Mm-hmm.
I appreciate that. I like that quite a bit.
Yeah, the last 2 years they've elevated their shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, high quality stuff.
And I like just but like a pastel.
Different
It's a
vibe,
light
yeah.
bomber jacket, but
Yeah,
with the
even
white shirt looks. Oh, and they got the white
the jeans.
sneaks on, the blue jeans
what I mean?
on too. You're saying goodbye.
I was feeling Eastery. I woke up this morning and I was like, I want to
Spring
make Greg
has
think
sprung.
I'm sprung.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, come and get me.
I'm glad. That makes me happy. I haven't drank at a Starbucks in a while. Not for anything in particular. But what is up with this fucking top you got on this goddamn thing? This looks like you got a container of soup.
Dude.
Is this new? Is this real? Is this
yeah.
they didn't just run out of
cold,
tops?
Doesn't matter.
No, cold?
Yeah. Yeah, this is your cup now.
Huh.
I'm enraged. But you know what? What am I going to do?
Huh. Didn't see that coming. A paper cup for the cold drinks. The wet drinks. The cold drinks
Yeah.
I'm never stoked about.
No. It's horrible.
Yeah.
But I get it. You know, they
Yeah.
don't want me to keep buying there. So
They what?
this is it. I'm boycotting Starbucks.
Oh man, this is what it was. This
Yeah.
is what pushed you over the edge. Damn, you hate to see it, everybody, but there it is, right there. Well, good, Tim. It's good to be here with you. I haven't been on. I haven't been on shows. Yesterday, being on the stream was my first time coming out of the review cave in a while.
That is it. Me and you have been on a off cycle in the weirdest way, both on camera, off camera. I think it's been the longest stretch with the least we've actually interacted in any way, shape, or form. We'll do the constant little check-ins and see what's up, but I feel like I haven't been on a show with you in ages.
Yeah.
Whether game show or even just KF podcasts, just talking, you hanging out.
KF podcast isn't happening for a while still. Yeah.
Yeah.
Next week we're doing something on Monday that you and me are both going to miss the Kinda Funny podcast.
Oh, you're
for,
right. You're right. Yeah.
So
God, there's so much going on. It's all good stuff. How wild is it that we're less than 2 months into the year, and think of all the things we've done already, and all the things we know that we're doing.
10 years. You know what I mean?
It's impressive, man, but it's also incredibly tiring.
Sure, of course. But I got good news for you.
What?
There was concern, of course, everybody. There was a big concern at the Greg Miller household, but my props for In Review did come today.
Great.
So for Predator In Review, Alien vs. Predator, I did get my props. Don't worry about it.
Why are we spending money on this?
Oh, man, and I got to rush order them all because I don't think about it in time. You know what I mean? So it's not your free Amazon Prime shipping. It's the pay me.
So please, everybody, if that entices you at all, become a Kinda Funny member. You'll be able to watch Predator 2 in review later today.
Predator 1 in review today.
Oh, sorry, you're right. Predator 1 in review today, and hopefully help fund Greg's decisions.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't want to say good decisions.
No, but you love them. Come on.
I do love
that
them.
alien costume was great. You know?
It was.
He certainly can't stop it.
You can't stop it, Kevin. Can't stop, won't stop. 10 years, going strong, never stopping. For now, though, let's remind you that we have video games to talk about because this is Kinda Funny Games Daily. Each and every weekday on a variety of platforms, we run you through the nerdy video game news you need to know about live on youtube.com/kindafunnygames, twitch.tv/kindafunnygames, and podcast services around the globe. If you like that, hey, pick up a Kinda Funny membership. $10 gets you all of our shows ad-free, the ability to watch the afternoon podcast like In Review live as we record them, and of course, your daily dose of me, Greg Miller, in a series I call Gregway, that I oftentimes... Thank you, Kevin. Do we know the second fog machine ain't working?
So I purposely delayed it just half a second because I think it's funny to be off. Didn't expect it to not be working.
I purposely delayed it 3 minutes. We'll be into the Anyways, here's a very serious story about Bungie and PlayStation going head to just off in the background or whatever.
God,
I forget to send myself Gregway a lot until I'm in here, and so now I'm sending myself Gregway, which I'm pretty stoked about. Don't worry about it. What do I talk about? Captain America.
Okay.
Brave New World.
Oh, you saw it?
I did last night, and you'll be surprised at the theater I went to. The Marina Theater.
Okay.
It sucked.
Yeah.
And I'll walk you through it.
Oh, please do.
Hold on. Well, this is gonna screw up my thing. When I think of movie theaters in this fair city, I think of Nick Scarpino. He's been to all the movie theaters. He knows every movie theater. So I text him at 6:58 because I got to buy a fucking ticket. Is the Marina movie theater terrible? Different text message. Like dirty. Not picture quality. You know I don't care. Then, for 20 minutes, no goddamn response. And I say, well, I'm going there, and if I get crabs, I'm blaming you on the air tomorrow. At which he finally responds, well, sorry, actually doing jiu-jitsu right now.
Still nothing about the thing.
Is the theater good or not, Nick?
It's not. Why do you
I don't give a shit what you're doing. Am I making a bad choice? To which he should have been like, yes. Go to a different theater. We have a car.
Who could have told you?
Fucking hell.
Literally
Possibly
anyone
told
else.
you.
Like, we were here. I was here. You could have asked me. I would have been like, nah, it's a shit theater. It's small.
Yeah, it was just the carpets were so dirty. But then it was kind of cool because it was just the two guys in the front, and it was just me up there watching a movie by myself.
Yeah.
I don't want to see it in 40X.
Oh my God, what
I
an
don't want to get
experience. Change multiple people's lives.
It rearranges your guts when you see movies.
When Karl was here a couple days ago, we ended up going to go see Captain America in 40X, and Leanza, her life has changed forever.
Oh yeah, she can't go back.
She's now a convert. She's like, all right, cool. I get it. It makes movies better.
It makes movies better. Huh. Kevin, your mic's just open too if you didn't know.
I yelled it does.
Yeah, I know, but your mic is open. Like, you could just talk. Like, we hear you closing the door and doing things.
Well, I had to yell because I was on the other side of the room. If I talked.
I hate you so much.
What?
Oh, my God. Remember, of course, if you have no bucks tossed our way, no big deal. Watch on youtube.com/kindoffunnygames, twitch.tv/kindoffunnygames. Follow on podcast services. Like, subscribe, share, leave a review. But, of course, get that membership if you love us. And if you are watching live, use the YouTube SuperChats to be part of the show with your thoughts, opinions, and more. Just like Wendell Shoemaker did when they said, shout out to my boy and fellow KFBF Kevin, who turns 30 today.
Happy birthday, Kevin.
And just like Corey Clark did when they said, so hyped for Predator in review today. Housekeeping for you. Remember, we're an 11-person business. All about live talk shows. My first bullet point is a Tim update.
I have an update. It's not my favorite update, but it is what it is. I was promoting that we're going to premiere my wedding on Monday. That's not going to happen. I just have to make the call now. The video's done. It is fully edited. I'm incredibly happy with it. I'm having export issues. There's some copyright issues with uploading things.
That'll get you.
And I have a trip this weekend. I'm like, I can't stress over this right now. So I apologize. No one hates this more than me.
And it's too
but
late
I'm not
to
even going to put a date on it
apologize.
until I have a file that is uploaded on YouTube that is ready to hit premiere. But I mean, it's done. So it is just a matter of
troubleshooting all these little
things actually happening. But I'm very proud of it. It's awesome. I think people are going to really, really enjoy watching it. I apologize, but yeah, it's at this point, it's I don't want to say out of my hands, but it's in my hands, and my hands are already very, very full.
Your hands are dirty.
You know, and they're very dirty. So anyway, I apologize for that.
You don't have to apologize. They get it. You know, Nice Blight says, "Damn, Tim canceled his own wedding."
I know,
which I do appreciate. Now, hold on. When I went away and stopped moving the Gregway, this is the thing about the Gregways. You know what I mean? They're always in flux. And I'm sorry about your wedding. That's great news for you and me on Monday, though.
It is.
We get to do the
I
thing.
know. That was another factor here where I'm like, why am I trying to force a square into a circle here? There's too many elements going on.
You should ease your you into my circle is what I say. After Kind of Funny Games Daily today, you're going to get the Kind of Funny Gamescast. What is it? It's me talking to the one, the only, Matt Piscatella, about if the video game industry is doomed. That's right, Circano's own Matt Piscatella joins me, industry analyst, to talk about streaming, to talk about physical sales, to talk about digital, where we're going, what's happening. It's going to be a good time. And then after that, the stream is Andy and Nick showing off Avowed with NVIDIA DLSS 4. In a sponsored stream from NVIDIA, our friends at NVIDIA. If you are a Kind of Funny member, you can get today's Gregway, where I talk more about Captain America and my deep thoughts on the movie, because I don't know how much we're talking about it during Predator. I'm ranking it, right?
Much.
But that's
we'll just get it on the rankings,
And then, of course, you can get, like I said a million times already, Predator in review this afternoon and tomorrow on YouTube and podcast services. Thank you to our Patreon producers, Delaney Twining, Karl Jacobs, OmegaBuster, and Karin Lindner. Today we're brought to you by Built Rewards, Factor, and Stash, but we'll tell you about that later. For now, let's begin the show with what is and forever will be the Roper Report.
Today
Time for some news. 8 items on the Roper Report.
Omega
You know? You okay? What's your problem back there?
It is a little weird, you know? I do hope it just randomly goes off at some point.
I can't live with that kind of pressure. You know
Yeah.
what I mean?
Just so you know, when that does happen, it's never good for me, Tim. I gotta run over there, unplug it,
Yeah.
and it just keeps going and going.
And running. Number 1 on the Roper Report. Pokemon Presents is coming next week. This is the one, the only Reb Valentine over at IGN.com. The Pokemon Company has announced that a Pokemon Presents event will provide updates on the franchise next week in celebration of Pokemon Day. Revealed on X/Twitter, the Pokemon Company said the event would be February 27th, 2025, and available to watch on the Pokemon YouTube channel at 6 a.m. Pacific, 9 a.m. Eastern, 2 p.m. UK. It's unclear exactly what it will entail, but fans will be hoping for word on the next mainline Pokemon game, which so far remains unrevealed. The Pokemon Company has already revealed a spin-off title in Pokemon Legends, ZA, which is due out in 2025, but the next official quote-unquote generation of Pokemon has yet to be mentioned. These events also typically include updates on Pokemon's other ongoing games, such as Pokemon Unite, Pokemon Sleep, Pokemon Go, and Pokemon Masters EX. We're likely to hear about the more recently released Pokemon TCG Pocket as well as the physical card game. The last Pokemon Presents took place last year around this time and revealed the new Legends game, Terra Raid battle events coming to Pokemon Scarlet and Violet, word on the Pokemon trading card game coming to mobile, and more. Unlike past years, which had multiple events, 2024 only has one Pokemon Presents and also was the first year since 2015 to skip having a major Pokemon game release. Timothy Robert Geddes. The sun has shined on us. God and or Satan has blessed us because, of course, we didn't have to do anything. You were already on this show, and you're the Poke expert. You are the Poke master.
Yeah.
You also called this yesterday in the meeting. You're like, there's probably going to be a Pokemon Presents on this day.
Yeah.
We should plan the thing around it. Are we live reacting? Fuck no. We are not waking up at 6 a.m.
It is
to
6
live
a.m.
react.
It's a tough one, though, because like I really want to. I want to live react because Pokemon Presents are such a mixed bag because sometimes they are actually the worst showcases of all time. However, they're the worst showcases of all time in the like, oh my God, this is so freaking bad. I can't believe how bad it is. This is hilarious way. Unlike the Capcom showcases that when they're bad, it's just like,
why do we do this?
Wow, this is actually a waste of time.
Yeah.
But
we're not live reacting, but we're delayed reacting.
Exactly. So what I was setting up here is that I wanted to show up for them because they've been showing up for me the last couple of presents. There's been some like really, really, really good announcements, some really exciting things, some exciting omissions even that Reb was kind of talking about there. But for this one, I'm expecting good things. I don't necessarily think this is going to be the one to change the world or anything, but I do want to at least record our live reactions to it. So
yes.
9 a.m. Pacific our time. So 3 hours after it actually premieres, we will be live reacting here. It's me, Andy, and Bless. We're going to stay off of social media and everything, total media blackout until we watch it. So you'll be able to see our live reactions for the first time to everything announced. And then we'll do a post-show breakdown.
Rolling right into a Gamescast post-show. So it'll be out of order. 9 a.m. for Pokemon, however long that goes. Gamescast post-show, then a Games Daily after that.
Yeah, so I'm excited for this. I feel like we're going to get, at the very least, a real look at Pokemon ZA.
Is that really what we call it, by the way?
Well, it's Pokemon ZA.
Yeah.
You know, I don't think it's called ZA, but we're going to call it that forever. It's weird title. I actually hate the title. We'll see what it actually is really supposed to entail and all that stuff when we get.
You don't think it's just every Pokemon Z Day?
No, because what it is, Greg,
okay.
is we had Pokemon Red, Blue, Yellow, Ruby, Sapphire, Crystal.
Scarlet, Violet,
there's always
my favorites.
There's the third version that would come out, right?
Yeah.
So when Pokemon X and Y came out, everyone was like, "Oh, they're going to put out Pokemon Z." But that never actually happened, right? So now this, the Legends games, the first one we got was Legends Arceus. That's what they just called it that. That took place Gen 4 Sinnoh region. This one is them taking place Gen 6, which is Pokemon X and Y. So we're going back to Kalos, which is essentially France. And because of that, I think they're just being a little cheeky about adding the Z. You know what I mean?
Okay.
The 2A, we'll see, or dash A, whatever. But we don't know anything about this game. It has
Which is exciting.
It is, definitely. It's a different naming structure kind of than Legends Arceus. Like, that made more sense where it's like, all right, cool. This is going to be more of like an origin story, and we kind of get what we're going into here. That game took place in the past. We didn't even know that about this one. We just got a trailer last year that was more just kind of vibes based than gameplay at all.
Kevin, can I see that trailer again?
And what's exciting about it is a couple different things. One, this is probably going to be the first game that is going to be played on the Switch 2.
Woo!
I don't think it's going to be a Switch 2 game.
Sure.
What if so that's exciting. It might be.
Yeah.
I just still don't understand how Nintendo's going to handle that stuff. My theory is it's just going to be a Switch game and that's it. Maybe you get some enhancements. I don't think it's going to be like everything's 4K or whatever. I don't
What's
think it's
the
gonna be
name
like
of this trailer that I'm looking for?
Pokemon Z-A. And the other exciting thing is this is the longest it's been for a very long time that we haven't got annualized Pokemon games.
Sure.
And after the last one we got was Pokemon Scarlet and Violet. We got 2 big DLC packs for that. But the fact that it's been this long, only a little over a year, since we've had a full-on Pokemon game,
yeah,
the expectations are a little higher on this one. You know, hopefully, like we
Do
look
you
at it
think,
and
though,
don't immediately go, ugh.
Yeah, that's my like. That was the thing. Scarlet, Violet, right? The reviews were like, it runs like trash, or this, them kicking their feet at their desk. This looks bad. Yada yada. Do you expect there to be? Are you expecting an actual overhaul to that, or are you expecting it just to be a little bit better, or not, or just exactly the same, or what?
I expect substantially better.
Shit.
And on top of that, it's interesting because this is not a mainline game. Like, this is a Legends game, and we've only had one Legend, so we don't know if this is going to just be very similar to Legends Arceus, or if Legends can kind of be more anthology-like in terms of gameplay. Because I feel like,
stop and tell me what that means, because as somebody who played Legends for a little bit, and played a lot of Scarlet, like it was my most played Switch game last year. Oh man, this does look cool. Like just the vibe piece, like you're talking about. I couldn't tell you. I would have been like, oh, Arceus is mainline. I wouldn't have known that's not mainline.
Yeah, and again, mainline. They're weird words, but when we talk about the generations of Pokemon, Generation 1 with Red and Blue, Generation 9 with Scarlet and Violet, those are the games that come out that you have the 3 starter Pokemon. You choose one of them. You go on your journey. You fight the 8 gym leaders, and then become the champion. You know what I mean? Slight variations on that game to game, but that's kind of like, all right, cool. We know what we're getting into. Pokemon Legends like took place in the past, and it was like the origins of learning how to catch
you got to remember you fell through
time.
A portal, you went back in time.
And there was no gyms, there was no the battle system was different, like the gameplay was different, like you're walking around and actively kind of catching. It's a bit more active.
I remember that actually.
As opposed to, it's still turn-based, but like there was more active elements to it. But because we only had that one, I just don't know what to expect, and because they didn't show us any real gameplay here, it's like I think that this is going to be somewhere in the middle between what we got last time with Legends and a more core Pokemon game. But we'll find out next week of what that ends up being. But they are going to position this as a major release. Like, even though it's not a new generation, it is still, they're trying to make Legends the like second vertical of mainline games for them.
Sure.
So high expectations there. On top of that, Reb kind of killed it here with like what to expect.
She does
from
every
this.
time.
Exactly. Pokemon presents. Pokemon has so many different things to talk about, whether it's Unite, the MOBA game, the Masters, which is the battling mobile game, the Pokemon Cafe remix, Pokemon Go, and they do always update about every single little thing. So we're going to get a lot of that type of stuff.
How long are you expecting this to be?
They're usually like 30 minutes.
Okay.
But then there's always that X factor of what don't we know, right?
Yeah.
And with that, we can always talk about when are they actually going to bring the originals to Nintendo Switch Online.
Sure.
There's been rumors circulating, and by rumors, I mean some guy really, really wants it. That's not named Tim Geddes, but Tim Geddes also wants it. Actual physical collections of the old games being released.
Oh, okay.
I hope so.
George Huffman in the Super Chats wants a possible Gen 5 remake.
Gen 5 remake is due, but we're just in a weird time because Pokemon, clearly they realize that people are upset. That hasn't really affected them in the past. They're still selling millions upon tens of millions of copies. But Pokemon ZA is going to be really telling to me of like, how much effort are they putting into this? Or are they still Game Freak? Are they still just doing the same old thing? But going back to the classic games, we're in a weird time right now because next year is the 30th anniversary.
Sure.
And the next generation is Generation 10. That's big deal stuff, right? I don't know if we're going to hear about it. I don't think it's a sure thing by any stretch of the imagination. But strategically, I do think it could make sense to focus on ZA in this one, but give some type of like hint or tease or just confirmation of, and to celebrate Pokemon's 30th anniversary, we're doing Gen 10. It's a Switch 2 game. And announce that there. I don't think that's going to happen, but I am just putting it out there that like, I think that could be cool to have that longer kind of cycle going into
build hype for next year.
Yeah.
But, call it out for people who aren't like you that next year is a big year.
Yeah. And it's like, but do you want to step on your big release that you're still trying to create this like brand up? But they've done it before.
Nobody's going to stop. Nobody's going to stop. Nobody would stop.
Like Scarlet and Violet was being talked about, and then they announced Legends Arceus. So, you know, they do things differently. We're on the precipice of a Nintendo console launch. So I think that there's a lot of possibilities, which makes this Presents exciting. And this is a Presents that has very low chance of disappointing because we know that...
Take that one to the bank, everybody.
Sorry.
Break that out and sit on it for next week.
In terms of things that we... there's been Pokemon Presents that nothing cool shown at all.
Of course.
But this, we know ZA is going to be shown. Could that game look disappointing? Absolutely. But at least we know there's going to be something there that's going to be newsworthy.
Sure.
You know?
Fair.
So I'm excited. I'm excited for all that. But ZA isn't something that's necessarily blowing my skirt up right now. Like Kalos wasn't my favorite of the places, and I'm excited for more Mega Evolutions, but overall, like, I'm excited for Gen 10.
Of course.
So I'm kind of like, let's see what's up. But hey, no matter what, I think it's going to be a good
Let me tell you the big news. I'm excited for Pokemon ZA. All right? You know how Ben started watching Pokemon, which gave me the basis to be, okay, and I went and restarted Scarlet and played an ungodly amount of Scarlet. Enjoyed the hell out of that. Beat all the guys. No big deal. But it is that thing of every so often, I forget what happened. I played it during a downtime last year around this time, then review season kicked up and I was gone. Every so often I'll come back and I'm like, I should go back. And I'm like, you know what? No, I should wait. I should just wait and say pent up Pokemon energy to then unleash on the next Pokemon game.
I love that.
And if this is going to be a Switch 2 or it plays on the Switch 2, which it would, obviously.
Yeah.
And that teaser trailer they show that shows nothing gets me excited because one of my turnoffs for Arceus was like, I don't want to be back in olden times.
I don't either.
I don't want to be in olden times.
But that's the thing with
now you're sending me to Paris. I get to wear a little beret.
Yeah.
Their weird Eiffel Tower.
It's interesting.
Bunch of guys dressed like mimes. Let's fuck them up.
Like, Kalos is an entire region, but like that city's Lumiose City, which has the fake ass Eiffel Tower in it. And so far it seems like this game is going to be really focusing on like theoretically a fleshed out city. Like, it's not about the entire region. It's more about like
you can carjack anything.
Yeah, exactly. GTA for Pokemon. But yeah, we'll see next week how it all shakes out. But I'm hopeful. I think them taking the year off was a very good thing. I just don't necessarily believe that it's what was needed yet. I feel like maybe more is needed than what they did. But we'll see.
Peter. Okay, well, we won't have to wait long. Of course, Thursday the 27th is the Pokemon Direct, or Pokemon Showcase, Pokemon Presents. Like I said, we'll be live reacting to it on a delay, 9 a.m. Pacific time, an hour before Games Daily usually starts. When that's done, right into a Gamescast post show about it, right into your usual Games Daily. Before we transition out of the old Pokemon news and predictions, we got other stuff in here from the Super Chats, okay? High Voltage comes in and says, with how the Gen 4 remakes were handled, I don't trust them to do a Gen 5. Gen 5 is the pinnacle of Pokemon and hasn't been bested since.
I mean, homie, you're making a lot of sense here, and that's unfortunate.
As an outsider, what did they screw up about the Gen 4 stuff?
So, Gen 4, Brilliant Diamond, Shining Pearl.
Okay.
That was the one that infamously Blessing and I did our impressions on, and on the thumbnail it said, "This is boring." People were really upset at us. That was the very chibi art style one. Every other remake of the Pokemon game so far has been like pretty well regarded for the most part. And then this one was just like such a clear cash grab of just, hey, we got to get this done.
Okay.
It was made by a different team that is not the core team at all.
Got it.
And it just didn't have the stuff at all. And unfortunately, man, I think that if we ever do get a Gen 5 remake, I think it's going to be like that.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I don't want that to break your heart.
Yeah.
Kebabs writes in and says, Pokemon Go++. Did that ever come out?
Did that ever come out? You mean, do I carry that thing on me every single day of my life?
Oh, that little puck thing is the Pokemon Go Plus Plus?
It's on my desk right now.
It does. It is out.
Yeah.
He'll be in the car with you. He'll be fiddling with it. Yeah, no, it exists.
Oh, yeah,
I see it all the time. Don't worry about that, kebabs. Jeffrey Kirby says, oh, sorry, go ahead. Oh, this is the one you want?
Yeah.
Gen 1 on Nintendo Switch Online likely wouldn't have home compatibility, so I don't understand why anyone is asking for that.
That is the interesting thing, because I do feel like that's very important. And that's the only reason that I have my fingers crossed that the idea of an actual physical collection of these games is a reality. One, they want to make money, so I can see them doing that. But two, I feel like just adding the thing of, now it is compatible with Pokemon Home, so for the first time ever, you really could have all of the games being able to trade with each other, Gen 1 to Gen 3 to Gen 9, like all of that, like via home. That'd be incredible. But yeah, that's why I'm hopeful, but it just sounds too good to be true. But then when it sounds too good to be true and you think through the financial ramifications, you're like, it just makes sense, Nintendo.
Why not?
Or Pokemon Company.
Flying Penguins says, is ZA gameplay shown on Switch 2 or low frames on Switch 1? I would think it's probably shown on Switch 2, but nobody mentions it, right?
I don't know, man. We're in such a weird place. I think it's just going to be Switch 1. I think it's a Switch 1 game, period. So, I think it's going to be Switch 1, and like the low frames, yes, it will have a look to it. Let me put it that way.
Okay.
But I don't think it's going to be that bad. My big question is, when we look at it, is my first reaction going to be, because that's what my reaction's been for Scarlet and Violet and for Pokemon Legends Arceus.
That's not a good reaction.
No.
Final one before we get on to other news stories. Phil writes down on SuperChats and says, Tim, how well would Pokemon Red and Pokemon Blue Game & Watch devices sell? Like the Super Mario Brothers and Legends of Zelda Game & Watch devices.
Incredibly. Like that would be such a good decision if they made it. Just a portable, a little tiny Game Boy that you just could play the original Pokemons.
Yeah.
Come on, man. I feel like, again, money on the table. I think they're just strategies like, how do we make the most money from the old Pokemon games as possible?
Yeah.
And I think that they're hedging their bets. They're waiting. They're trying to wait and see like what can maximize profits. That's a good idea, though.
Take it to the bank, Nintendo and Pokemon Company. And speaking of the bank, Gregway, let me talk about our bank here at Kinda Funny. We couldn't do it without you. That's right, being an 11-person small business without your support. So if you got $10 and think we're doing a great job, why not pick up the Kinda Funny membership on patreon.com/kindafunny, youtube.com/kindafunnygames, Apple or Spotify. Of course, you get all of our shows ad-free. That's more than 20 a week. You'd get the ability to watch our afternoon podcast live as we record them, and you get your daily dose of me, Greg Miller, in a series we call Gregway. But guess what? Right now, you're not using your membership benefits, so here's a word from our sponsors.
This episode is brought to you by Built. Y'all already know I'm a big points and rewards guy, but here's a PSA for anyone who rents. If you haven't heard of Built, you're about to thank me. Earning points on rent is now a reality when you pay your rent through Built. There's no cost to join Built, and as a member, you will earn valuable points on rent and on your everyday spending. Built points can be transferred to your favorite hotels and airlines, and even the ones you haven't heard of. There are over 500 airlines and 700,000 hotels and properties around the world you can redeem your Built points toward. Points can also be redeemed towards a future rent payment and unique experiences that only Built members can access. So if you're not earning points on rent, my question is, why not? Start earning points on rent you're already paying by going to joinbuilt.com/kindafunny. That's joinbilt.com/kindafunny. Make sure to use our URL so they know we sent you. Joinbuilt.com/kindafunny to start earning points on your rent payments today. That's BILT. This episode's brought to you by Factor. Ready to optimize your nutrition this year? Factor has chef-made gourmet meals that make eating well easy. They're dietitian approved and ready to heat and eat in 2 minutes, so you can fuel right and feel great no matter what life throws at you. Greg Miller's been loving how simple it is to enjoy his Factor meals as he's rushing between shows each day here at Kinda Funny. Factor arrives fresh and fully prepared, perfect for any active, busy lifestyle. With 40 options across 8 dietary preferences on the menu each week, it's easy to pick meals tailored to your goals. Choose from preferences like Calorie Smart, Protein Plus, or Keto. Multiple people here at Kinda Funny have been loving their experience with Factor, and you can too. Eat smart with Factor. Get started at factormeals.com/factorpodcast and use code factorpodcast to get 50% off your first box plus free shipping. That's code factorpodcast at factormeals.com/factorpodcast to get 50% off plus free shipping on your first box. This podcast is brought to you by Stash. Saving and investing can feel impossible, but with Stash, it's not just a reality, it's easy. Stash isn't just an investing app. It's a registered investment advisor that combines automated investing with dependable financial strategies to help you reach your goals faster. They'll provide you with personalized advice on what to invest in based on your goals, or if you want to just sit back and watch your money go to work, you can opt into their award-winning expert-managed portfolio that picks stocks for you. Stash has helped millions of Americans reach their financial goals and starts at just $3 per month. Don't let your savings sit around. Make it work harder for you. Go to get.stash.com/kindafunny to see how you can receive $25 towards your first stock purchase and to view important disclosures. That's get.stash.com/kindafunny. Paid non-client endorsements, not representative of all clients and not a guarantee. Investment advisory services offered by Stash Investments LLC, an SEC-registered investment advisor. Investing involves risk. Offer is subject to T&Cs.
And we're back. We have breaking news on a story we already had, but more stuff's happening live as we do it. So we're moving story number 7, which was going to be our good news outro, up to story number 2. Next Tony Hawk's Pro Skater game to launch this summer. We're going to start with George Yang at GameSpot. The next Tony Hawk's Pro Skater game is reportedly going to be released this summer, seemingly back up the claims of another pro skater earlier this week who said that a new one is coming. According to leaker Extras 1S, Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 3+4, known internally at Microsoft as Project Chicago, will launch in June during Microsoft's currently unannounced Xbox Summer Showcase presentation. It will reportedly be shadow dropped on PC, PlayStation 5, Xbox Series X and S, as well as Game Pass. The leaker couldn't confirm if the game is coming to Switch 2, however. Yesterday, pro skater Tyshawn Banana Jones claimed that he was in an upcoming Tony Hawk Pro Skater game, even though Activision had not announced a new one yet. Some version of Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 3+4 was reportedly rejected by Activision after the launch of 1 and 2 in 2020, but things may have changed under Microsoft's leadership since then. There's more stuff we're going to skip out of that, though, right? Instead, we're going to go breaking news over to VGC, where Chris Scullion is reporting an Easter egg in one of the latest Call of Duty Black Ops 6 multiplayer maps appears to be hinting at a new Tony Hawk game announcement next month. Season 02 Reloaded of Black Ops 6 launched today, adding 2 multiplayer maps along with other content, including the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, which we have a trailer for we're going to watch later because we got bad news and then we're getting into there's some fun stuff. One of the newly added maps is Grind, a returning multiplayer map that previously featured in Black Ops 2 and Black Ops 4. The map is a skate park in Venice, California. Players, including Charlie Intel, have spotted that inside a skate shop located in the map, there's a poster on the wall reading 030425. Of course, if you are an international listener, for us, that'd be March 4th. I know you go April 3rd, but that's not how we do it here. Inside a logo that looks similar to those of the Tony Hawk Pro Skater series. It appears then that the poster is suggesting a new announcement related to Tony Hawk series of games will be coming on March 4th. Timothy Robert Geddes, I teased at the front, your dreams are coming true. I meant, of course, the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles and Call of Duty. I meant Tony Hawk stuff, but this is now Pokemon. What a day for you.
Johnny in the chat.
Johnny!
Just said, this is Tim's world and we're just living in it.
Sure.
I can't believe what's happened the last couple days in regards to Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 3+4.
Yeah.
The roller coaster that I've been on, Greg, the last couple years, when 1+2 was announced and I saw that trailer and I was like, this looks like a dream. This looks perfect. And I was like, but I need to get my hands on that controller because I was burned with Tony Hawk Pro Skater HD back in the 360 PS3 era. I was burned with Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 5. So burned. One of the biggest freaking breakdowns I had on Kinda Funny ever was me doing the Let's Play of Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 5 in real time, having my heart broken because it didn't feel right. No. That was the least of its problems, but it didn't feel right. When I got my hands on 1+2 Remake and I was like, it's perfect. It's better than it used to be. Everything changed for me. We're doing our top 100 games of all time sometime this year.
Sure.
And I've been thinking a lot about it, like what my strategy is. What does that mean to me? You know, what are my top 100 games? And I keep trying to think of like, what is the top 10? What is the number one? What are even the contenders for number one? And if I'm being honest with myself, I keep coming back to it, Greg. Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 1+2 remake. If I'm being real to what's in here,
that's what's in your heart.
It might be it.
Wow.
I'm not saying it is, but it might be it.
Wow.
And it was successful. It was well received. People loved this game. It sold well. And then Activision kept making their decisions.
They said, no,
vicarious visions. Go work on Overwatch. You know what I mean? Toys for Bob. Fuck you for being successful and doing cool things.
Yeah, they did say that.
High Moon Studios. The list goes on. Sure. You've heard me complain about all this.
Remember, they had Ghostbusters. They let them go.
Tony Hawk's out here talking. Yapping on all his podcasts. People tell him to do kickflips and shit, all right?
Yeah.
He can't stop talking. For as long as I can remember, I've heard Tony Hawk saying things he's not supposed to say about Tony Hawk games. Sometimes they're true. Sometimes they're not. He's not always the most informed about what's going on the video game side. So I've been through this before, Greg, of the ups and downs.
Sure, he's been through it.
Is this real? Is this actually happening? Oh, this random skater that was in 1+2 is saying, oh, he's in a new remaster coming out. I was like, okay, are you really? Like, are you just off on your information, right?
100%.
So when that happened, I was just like, cool. But following up on last year's news that there was a supposed 3+4 being worked on that was canceled, breaking my heart back in 2020, right? All of this, I'm like, all right, I'm not feeling good about it. But then last night, I was looking at GameSpot.
Yeah.
And when they post this article, I was like, wait a minute. How GameSpot? They're not just going to be like posting about some bullshit.
They're a reputable site.
And then them adding extra news about this extras here, talking about like during the Xbox Summer Showcase, it being a shadow drop, all this. I'm like, whoa. I'm very excited. I'm hopeful, but I still don't believe it. Now Activision themselves are straight up confirming something's happening with that a date. Is that a date or is it 3 and 4 coming in 2025? Am I getting ahead of myself? I don't care. Greg, I'm fucking hyped as hell. This is insane. This is insane. If this were to happen, anything is possible. Because we're talking about something that, like, from what we've heard from, like, the leaked court documents and stuff, this game was canceled.
Not anymore. You know why? Phil Spencer.
I mean, I want to personally think that I asked him for it. When he was here, I asked him for this.
And what did he say?
You know, he's Phil, so he was very much just like, oh, you know, I love video games. You know what I mean? Maybe he loves me.
Maybe he does.
Prove it to me, Phil.
Whoa.
Let this be real. Please let this be real. Please, Greg.
Please. Everybody. Phil, you heard it. Just let him do it.
Oh, my God. Project Chicago. There's a Chicago level in 4. It's all adding up, man. So March 4th, what are they doing here? Are they announcing it? It can't be a shadow drop in
tweet.
It can't be. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
These here. I'm getting worried now. I'm talking myself off the cliff in the bad way.
What day of the week is March 4th?
What's
March? What is March 4th?
Because how you can have an announcement on March 4th and a shadow drop in the summer? You know?
Yeah, that's a great point, actually.
Well, unless they just announce that it's happening at some point.
It's
no, it's not.
Tim, I think you're right. I think this means 3 and 4 for 2025.
Thank you. I'm just going to roll with that. Yeah.
But your date means nothing.
Real talk, man. I could not be more stoked for this. Like, this, to me, feels like there's karma in the world, and I've done something right. Because it felt like this was a hopeless dream at this point. That I should have given up.
Yeah, you should have given up on it.
They've been teasing it for years, man. The Tony Hawk's Pro Skater account just keeps posting things. It'll be a Halloween 3 years after the game came out, and they're posting something. There's like a 3+4 in the corner. Are they being cheeky, or do they know something? March 4th. I'm not sleeping till then.
Damn. You got a good lineup here of life.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
I
know.
know.
It's Pokemon Presents next week.
Mm-hmm.
March 4th here.
Mm-hmm.
Then that's pretty much a month out from your Switch 2.
I know.
There's probably some other nerdy housewives thing happening there you're excited about.
Oh, yeah.
Hans Zimmer's doing
getting a spinoff.
There it is. There it is. Who's she? She's a Denise Richards is a housewife? Like
she was.
Wild Things Denise Richards?
One of the best, yeah.
Huh.
They bullied her off the show. I'll never forgive them.
I'm glad. You'll never forgive, you'll never forget. Let's move on to story number 2. It's a long one, all right? PlayStation fires back at ex-Bungie dev. We're reading Stephen Totilo's report over at GameFile. The gloves are off in a high-stakes lawsuit involving Sony, Bungie, and the veteran Bungie developer Christopher Barrett, who in December sued the gaming giant over what he alleges was a sham investigation that led to his firing over alleged misconduct. In Sony's first substantive response to the lawsuit, the company is denying Barrett's claims and leaving zero doubt that it believes that termination last year of Barrett's 25-year run at Bungie was justified. To emphasize its position, Sony's initial answer to Barrett's suit also includes 9 text communications between Barrett and female Bungie employees that it claims, quote, reveal his pattern of misconduct. In December, Barrett, a longtime senior designer on Destiny and former head of Bungie's upcoming Marathon project, sued Bungie and its owner Sony for defamation and breach of contract, among other claims. Barrett slammed Bungie's investigation, denying that he committed a fireable offense, and accused Sony of letting him go in order to deny him more than $45 million that Barrett was to be paid as a result of Bungie's 2022 purchase of Bungie. No, to be paid as part of Sony's purchase of Bungie. I felt like I screwed up my head. Maybe I did. Maybe I did. Sony's new 128-page filing, technically an answer to Barrett's lawsuit, is largely a line-by-line response to December's claim. It was entered into the docket by the Delaware State Court of Chancery, that's cool, last week, and was reviewed by GameFile. The new filing begins what was essentially a preview of Sony's pending motion to dismiss 6 of the 7 counts in Barrett's lawsuit. The document states that in Sony's view, Barrett was terminated last March following HR complaints and an investigation that allegedly revealed a pattern of behavior in which Barrett supposedly, quote, targeted a lower-level female employee he wasn't working with directly, initially engaged in friendly conversation, and progressively pushed boundaries with the employee by making subtle references to her physical appearance or expressing his interest in her romantically. Barrett attempted to create an unprofessional level of intimacy with his victims, end quote. To support this, Sony's filings include excerpts of 9 written communications, texts, DMs, etc., including the following. Barrett similarly told victim 3, quote, I hope your boyfriend doesn't mind I text you a lot, and I just worry, like I really enjoy texting you and talking. I don't want him to get the right idea. Later,
I don't want him to get the right idea.
Later in the conversation, when victim 3 told Barrett she was busy, Barrett stated, quote, I want your attention. So annoying, end quote. And then there's a lot more going on here, right? Or is this? No, this is actually Steven's writing. I'm sorry. And then he goes, and ... Just 3 weeks into victim 5's tenure at Bungie, Barrett called her late in the evening while drunk and told her intimate details about his personal life and asked her about who she was dating and what her quote-unquote type was. He sent her a personal Instagram follow request to connect that night, which she did not accept. Barrett's side is calling foul on the filing, saying the texts are incomplete and don't amount to a fireable offense. In a statement to GameFile, Barrett's lawyers blasted Sony's account in full. Quote, Sony continues to disingenuously cherry-pick text messages and alleged conversations and make unsupported and conclusionary statements to defame Christopher and justify terminating him to avoid paying him what he was owed under his employment agreements. It is telling that Sony does not include the full text messages as exhibits or the full content of these conversations, and nothing in Sony's response provides a legitimate legal or factual basis to terminate Christopher's cause. Christopher is confident that when all the evidence is presented, it will be clear Sony engaged in a scheme to strip him of his role and his equity he earned in his 25 years of loyal service to the company. A lot more reporting from Stephen Totilo. Great work. And then sums it up like this. Barrett's argument, per his December lawsuit, is that Sony fired him to spare themselves from paying out what GameFile calculates was around $84 million in bonuses that he was promised when Sony, charged up by a deal spree that saw Microsoft grabbing Activision and Take-Two buying Zynga, purchased Bungie for $3.7 billion.
Jesus, what a mess this all is.
As Steven's actual summary said, which wasn't that, but his actual sign-off is like it's a very much a they said argument here. And where that'll actually end up, who knows? If this will actually get to court, if it's just going to be settled out of court, yada, yada, yada. But more than anything, it's why this made waves yesterday and headlines yesterday was rather than quietly answering this, Sony's like, let's fucking go. Yeah. Here's 128 pages I said, line by line. Here's this thing. Here's this fucking thing. Like, clearly they're not ready to roll over. They think they can.
No, I mean, which, it's important that these things are handled when like there is injustice, right?
Of course.
And I feel like it is a they said situation, but like looking at this, the things that they're saying aren't that great. And like, sure, you can add context, sure, there's all this stuff, but like there's no wrong way to take the I don't want him to get the right idea. Like that's that is so intentional, and it's icky.
Of course,
the least,
at the very minimum, icky. Yeah.
So yeah, it's like
the drunk
man.
call to this woman asking what her type was and sharing intimate details, which I can only imagine. Like, come on.
Yeah, man. It's this is not great. It's not good. It's bad. And yeah, the numbers we're talking about are just absolutely wild as well.
Yeah.
Being
Yeah,
like,
these bonuses.
$84 million is just like freaking A.
So that sucks, but it's an interesting response from PlayStation. We will continue to watch that and we will continue to urge you to be a good person. I don't know, it seems like when you get to, maybe you could get $84 million, everybody turns into an asshole, but we'll see. Luckily, none of us make that kind of money. For now, let's have a palate cleanser. Story number 3 is, let's just watch this Call of Duty TMNT trailer. Have you seen the turtles in this yet?
I saw just the image.
Here we go then. Let's watch the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles in Call of Duty for Black Ops and Warzone. Turtles, and they're doing stuff. There's skate parks.
I'm so happy they got the song. Oh my god.
The Foot Clan, nice.
Oh my god,
Turtle
yes.
gun, or pizza gun. Splitter.
Yes.
Krang.
Well,
Splitter
shit.
Foot Clan available in the event pass. Are you in?
I mean, look, this looks freaking
Get in there.
awesome. But like, what the fuck? How is this Call of Duty? Like, I actually don't want to know. Like, what? It's so bizarre.
Yeah, the one thing they don't show here is the turtles with guns. So are the turtles not using the
No,
guns?
the turtles are using guns.
Is this a mode?
Well, they're pizza guns, you know?
Yeah, but I mean,
We can see
I want to
AK.
see it from the first person perspective of them running around doing what they're doing.
I don't get this. I love it. I love it, period. I want to say that. I have some critiques. I don't like when the turtles have white eyes all the time.
Okay.
I like when the white eyes are a stylish, like, moment.
Okay.
Normally in the night.
Okay.
Standing
Sure.
on the top of a building.
Sure.
With the moonlight behind them.
Of course. Can't
You
fight
know?
the moonlight, yeah.
That's what I want. But real talk, like, there's been way worse turtle designs. And I'm kind of into it with the matching color, like, elbow and knee wraps.
Yeah.
So cool stuff.
Okay,
here.
so I am watching right now a random Twitch stream that's doing Call of Duty with C Preds is doing it with 61 people right now, and he's playing as the turtles, and it is just the turtle hands running around with a gun.
Cool.
Yeah.
So nice. Okay, cool. I just wanted to make sure.
Oh wow, people are saying it's over $75. What a steal.
I'll never forget. I'll never in my entire life, for the rest of my life, forget you logging into Fortnite for the first time ever to buy turtles and be like, wait, how much money is it? You did the calculations and you were so pissed.
I couldn't believe it.
You still
so
bought
pissed.
it, right?
I did.
You have to.
I did.
Don't worry about that part of it. You have to. That's what it
Bad.
is. Don't worry about it. Support your thing. Put Ghostbusters everywhere. I don't care. Speaking of things to look at, number 4 on the Roper Report, Last of Us Season 2 is coming April 13th, and we got 3 posters yesterday. Kevin, I gave you a link. I'm going to read from Good Morning America.
Cool.
They say The Last of Us Season 2 finally has an official premiere date. It was announced Wednesday that the series, based on the iconic video games of the same name, will return Sunday, April 13th, airing at 9 p.m. Eastern/Pacific on HBO and streaming on Max. Character posters for Pedro Pascal's Joel, Bella Ramsey's Ellie, and newcomer Caitlin Devers' Abby were released, all with the same tease, quote, "Every path has a price." The official logline for the 7-episode arc reads, 5 years after the events of the last season, Joel and Ellie are drawn into conflict with each other in a world even more dangerous and unpredictable than the one they left behind, end quote. Returning alongside Pascal and Ramsey are Gabriel Luna as Tommy and Rutino Wesley as Maria. In addition to Dever, the new cast members include a whole bunch of different people. Isabel Merced, we should say, as Dina, and then a whole bunch of different people. Catherine O'Hara as a guest star role featured in the previous teaser. What I like
Jeffrey
about these...
Wright is Isaac.
Who?
Jeffrey
Wright?
Wright.
Of course.
Very cool.
Reprising his role.
Mm-hmm.
His infamous role from the second game.
Yeah.
What? Okay, cool. I was going to say, of course, if you're not a visual listener, Joel, of course, walking on his watch, Ellie walking on her guitar, and, of course, Abby walking on a Firefly pendant.
Which, am I forgetting, was there a pendant in the game? Was that like a thing?
Well, Firefly pennants were like the dog tags from.
Oh,
remember, you,
that's
you
right,
picked
that's
up throughout
right. Yeah.
episode 1, and then Firefly is very close to Abby. No spoilers.
Love these posters. I think this is very cool. I think that the world was taken by storm when Last of Us hit HBO. Like there's not a set of parents of my friends that I know that haven't watched the show. Like it is one of those things where it's like it just hit like that.
Yeah.
You know, it feels like it's an HBO show to most people, which I think is
Amazing and awesome.
amazing. And can't wait for season 2. Looking at these, I think that like this tells us everything we need to know. Looking at Caitlin Deaver as Abby here, like that looks
Deaver,
like
not Dever?
I don't know.
Okay.
No idea.
Well, that would make sense. Fever, you would say. So Deaver probably makes sense.
Yeah, but love her as an actress. Looking at this poster, I'm like, that's Abby. You know, like enough for me. Cool.
Oh, yeah.
But we were talking about this recently. Like, I am very interested in how different a character Caitlin's Abby is going to be compared to the Abby we saw in the game.
Sure. Yeah.
Mainly because like I think that her physicality was a very important part of her character of like building up for that revenge and preparing for that fight.
Yeah.
So I'm interested to see, and I have full faith that they're going to have some type of different characterization to make it work more for the plot of the show that they're building, which will most likely feature a way more expanded role for Jeffrey Wright as Isaac. So
100%.
I think that compared to season 1 and the first game, I do think that this is going to take more liberties. Not that the first one didn't, because I mean the whole spores, right? Like a pretty big aspect of the first game,
The Mushroom Network.
totally changed to be this Mushroom Network. So yeah, full faith, no reason not to be hyped as hell, and totally believe in this. And these posters just continue me thinking that.
Well, in the chat went by there, it was Melodic Quest who said Caitlin must be protected at all costs. Going to be a rough few years for her. Yeah. Do you think so?
Yeah,
because gaming people are very specific.
Yeah.
I don't feel like HBO people are going to be as. We're going to death threat this person to death.
No. But the gaming people are going to be very loud. I think that they're going to attack people that aren't used to being attacked.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Okay.
They're going to invade the safe spaces
like mushrooms.
I actually don't really know where.
Yeah.
Where are my friends' parents that watch Last of Us? They'll be somewhere, and they'll be found.
They'll go on Facebook and be really mad.
Yeah.
It's all Caitlin's fault. Clearly, she wrote the character. I can't wait. Last of Us Season 2, April 13th, it kicks off, and we're doing reactions, yes?
Yes, we are. Weekly reactions.
Good time.
Is the plan.
Anything can happen here at Kind of Funny. Speaking of anything can happen at Kind of Funny, Gregway. Number 5, let's do a Scuf Valor Pro wired Xbox controller review from the one, the only, the Nitro Rifle, Andy Cortez.
Andy, do you want to go grab one of the wireless mics?
Hey, you sit down on my seat and you talk.
Okay.
Tim will interview, and I'll get a wireless mic.
Hey, everyone.
Hi, Andy.
You know, horse saddling, back paddling.
That's what they say.
I don't know. I was thinking of a word.
You playing Little Red Dead?
Tim, this is the Scuf Valor Pro controller that I've been reviewing lately. Of course, you know I'm a big Souls head and I need my back paddles.
Of course.
I need my back paddles to feel good.
I get it.
One thing I love about this controller is similar to the Razer in price.
The Wolverine?
The Razer Wolverine V3, $250 wireless.
Okay.
Insane. That's a lot of money.
It is.
The wired version is $100. The wired version of the Scuf Valor Pro is $100.
Okay.
So great sort of introductory price right there. If you don't really care about wireless, capabilities.
You're scaring me. What's the wireless price?
There is no wireless yet for this thing.
Right. So
well, it comes with a cord that you can unplug. You can.
Got it.
It comes with a very, very long USB-C, which is fantastic.
Okay.
Which is great.
Need to be long.
For anybody who wants that, I want to sit away from the couch. For me, this is kind of perfect for somebody who's just always at my computer, plugged in right there. The cable's more than generous enough. The feel of it is really, really damn good. I think it has a really nice sort of matte feel to it, Tim.
Very premium controller plastic.
Yes, I really enjoy it. And, it's been really hard to pull me away from my Razer V3. However, if you feel my main back paddle, Greg, it's losing some of the click on my Razer V3. On the Valor Pro by Scuf, I have been sort of defaulting to it because one really nice thing, it has 4 remappable back paddles, but one nice thing is that if you don't want these extra 2 buttons here, you can replace these little 2 pieces. With just it comes with also 2 little pieces of plastic that just sort of cap over, so the button won't activate ever, which is really nice. And of course, one thing I love is being able to remap your buttons without ever having to go into software. That's always a pain in the ass. A lot of companies are getting really, really good about doing that hardware, right? Doing that on the hardware. So similar to the Razer, where, if I, when I was doing the Monster Hunter demo, I was like, well, roll is on A, but my dodge roll is usually B. I can just sort of remap it here. Same thing on the Scuf Valor Pro wired version. You can also just use the little sort of sync button or whatever. This is what sort of helps you
configure button,
it helps you configure it. And there's also 3 onboard profiles, all colored by light. So like I would know that the blue profile means that my B button is on my back paddle, and the green profile might mean that my A button is on the back paddle, so on and so forth. I think it just has a really, really damn good feel, and it comes with sort of all of the things you would expect: the Hall Effect joysticks, everything. All the sticks feel freaking fantastic to me. And then, of course, the trigger stops, which, kind of...
I need them, man. I love it.
I love trigger stops. It really kind of depends on the feel. But the thing that I prefer about this over the V3 so far is the V3 already kind of bums me out because the main back paddle I use feels like it's losing a bit of a click. I don't know. Did you feel this one? Yeah. Like, feel the back paddle.
Okay, yeah.
It feels like it's already sort of losing the luster there because... The V3 Wolverine is all about, like, everything kind of feels like a mouse click. Everything has a good feel to it, but I'm losing some of it there. The thing that I love about this is that this is more of the button type feel as opposed to the mouse click. The stick feel, it feels easier to move the sticks as opposed to the Razer Wolverine V3. It feels less like it's fighting against you in some ways. D-pad I haven't really been using a whole lot, so I don't have a whole lot of feedback there for you, Greg. But
did you like it?
Onboard volume controls as well for anybody who is Xbox or PC gaming. Because of course I PC game, I use Discord, so I don't really use the volume controls. But there are 2 knobs on the device that allow you to lower the game and or the chat, which is a really nice thing to have sort of on the device without having to lower anything into the hardware.
Nitrogen Mustard says, trigger stops can break easily in my experience. Do these feel solid?
I've never had a broken trigger stop, so I couldn't tell you.
As hard as Nitrogen.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah, Nitrogen, you got to like really work on your thumb
some anger management. You know what I mean?
Work on your finger dexterity. I've never had a trigger stop break. I've had many right bumpers break on my Xbox Elite 2 controllers. But yeah, I don't have a whole lot of feedback for you there, unfortunately. But
so I think kind of funny review scale. What are you giving it?
I would give it honestly like it's gonna probably be my main.
Wow,
it's gonna probably be my main unless I were able to feel another V3 that has a better sort of bumper feel. Because the V3 that I have is the wireless version. In case I ever want to go wired on it, which I usually don't anyway. Because when you're plugged in, you have the highest polling rate and all that stuff, and that gives you the quickest response time. But this has been my driver for the last like week and a half or so. I did all of my Elden Ring Night Rain stuff. I got 3 wins on Elden Ring Night Rain. So like, what else do you need to know? I really love this controller, and I think if you are interested in a wired version, $100 for all of the bells and whistles that you're getting here is pretty hard to beat.
Yeah,
I think.
So what's your score?
I'd give it a 9 out of 10.
Hey, okay,
yeah,
all right. Hey.
I love this damn thing. I really, really do.
I appreciate that, Andy.
And it all comes down to like, what controllers have a better hand feel for you, which ones are gonna, work for you better. I know Tim is very particular with
DualSense Edge, baby.
Tim is very particular with. I can't do DualSense Edge anymore, and because I'm such a back paddler, when I was doing the Night Rain beta on PS5, the back paddles like kind of fall. They almost feel like they're falling out of place in sometimes. So I have to like, it really, really stinks. So the DualSense Edge just really kind of bummed me out there. But the hand feel, I really, really enjoyed it. It feels really, really damn good. Now, if you are somebody who needs all the extra back paddles, maybe that throws a wrench into it. But I don't need that.
Those are way too in there. They're like the freaking Steam Deck. What are we talking about here?
Yeah, well, like I love the button, but the this front button also allows you to click on it that way or click down on it. So it's kind of like a dual direction. How do I want to click this thing? But I rarely ever use 4 anyway, so not for me. I don't.
Cool
have a lot
stuff.
of
Fair
feedback
enough.
there.
Thank you, Andy.
Yeah.
Now, hold on a second. Don't go anywhere.
Oh, okay.
Story number 6 on the Roper Report. It's a PGA Tour 2K25 review roundup. When I was putting the show together, Metacritic had it at an 83. IGN's Andrew McMahon gave it an 8 out of 10. With substantial changes to how it looks and plays, PGA Tour 2K25 feels like a different game from its predecessor. The new swing mechanics paired with the significantly improved graphics make for a much more realistic ambiance, even with a lethargic performance by the announcing team. The highly customizable My Career campaign mode shines as one of the most enjoyable parts, even though it has a tacked-on personality system, occasional unnecessary connectivity issues, and of course, microtransactions. PGA Tour 2K25 is still a few strokes behind EA Sports PGA Tour as the best golfing simulator around, but it continues to improve like this. If it continues to improve with this, like each new iteration, we may see it finally close that gap relatively soon. Andy, you took a code for this. Did you get to play it all?
I played a couple rounds. I created my character. Pretty limited, of course. You know, I don't know. I don't know if I need virtual currency to make my character look better. I don't know if I need more VC. How about let me have a visor at the start of it. I don't want to always wear a baseball cap. Let me wear a visor. But so far you're kind of like immediately met with virtual currency. Here's how much your my player has. And I'm already like, oof, I don't know if I love this vibe quite from the start.
Oh, yeah,
what's up,
dude? We're going to the island, baby.
I'm prepared for
WWE, the island is calling. But one thing I really enjoyed was at the start of it, I don't know who this narrator is. He's got a good vibe to him. He's like, all right, get set up there and go ahead and hit the drive. And you hit the drive. He's like, pretty good shot. And he's just really, really nice about how he's delivering his lines. And then I miss about like 5 putts, because I'm moving away from the 3-click system, Greg. I think. Oh,
you're doing the actual swing?
I think we as a society need to move away from the 3-click system. I think it makes it a bit more difficult. And it does say that that's the most popular system. Whenever you start up, it says, what swing do you want to use? What swing system? And it says, do you want to use...
We're all used to the three clicks.
Yeah, I mean, it's been around for decades, right? But I do like the added difficulty because these sticks are so precise. And when it'll show you like the full circle of the swing. But if they only want you to hit 88% power, there's a smaller white circle there. So when you pull back, a small circle from within goes out to the white circle. And then when you push up, you want to push up right where it meets that 88% line. It feels so good. And when you are successful, it feels awesome because there is a lot more difficulty, I think, in then just timing it. I've been playing only on Steam Deck. I've only played I played actually this morning, not knowing that I was going to be talking about it. But I played on my Steam Deck this morning in addition to last night. Performs great on Steam Deck. Looks pretty damn good as well. That it doesn't look like super noisy in any way that it's trying to, help these visuals run on that piece of hardware. But so far my golfer kind of sucks. You start off as a 64 overall, which is just like the NBA 2K thing. Do you want to pay more? But you start off with like, what class do you want to be? And it's like, do you want to be a sculptor? Because it's like maybe the sculptor isn't as good at driving, but he can really like sculpt shots, right? Or the one that I picked, magician. And it's like this guy, uses spells. No, this guy can really, really find magic in clutch moments. I was like, well, that's me. And nobody's ever seen me fail in a clutch moment. So I picked that magician class, and what was kind of wild is like the driving out of 100, my driving stat was I think like a 50, and I'm still bombing it 310 down the fairway. So maybe I got to increase the difficulty, but I'm still kind of getting my way around it. I think I was especially excited to play on Steam Deck because I haven't really had a handheld golf game in a long time.
Sure. And
it just feels like a nice way to pass the time. And as you are progressing through my career, you start off kind of in these little amateur tournaments. They say amateur. They say amateur, Tim.
Why?
Yeah, it's just
British.
That's what they do, man. So you start off there, and it kind of does an abridged version of, you don't have to play all 18 holes.
Oh, okay.
You'll play like this certain hole, and then you'll swing there. Then they might fast forward you 4 different holes and be like, all right, time to go again. And you are now in 7th place because the other squad or the other people on the that you're competing against did rise up the ranks or whatever. And I'm having fun with it so far, but I haven't dived deep enough to be like, is this the next sort of golf obsession?
But you're enjoying your time.
Yeah, I'm enjoying my time with it.
All right, great. Thank
Where's
you.
Hot Shots Golf too?
Dude, don't
Where's
get me
everybody's
started.
golf
Don't
too?
get me started. Don't get me started. You know what I mean?
The children yearn for it.
They do. Clap hands, come back to us. All is forgiven. Tim?
We forgive you for some reason.
Well, it's for PlayStation ignoring you. Great stuff, Andy. Thank you so much.
Andy, yay.
Tim, Andy giving us 2 reviews back-to-back is huge news.
Big stuff.
But if I wanted small news, say the tiniest news I need to know about, where would I go?
You go to our last story, the Wii News channel, where we talk about all the small news items that you need to know about. Greg, I got to be honest with you.
Yeah.
I was listening to Andy, but I wasn't taking it in. You know what I mean?
You were looking at Tony Hawk?
I have Tony Hawk on the mind,
Yeah, that
and I
happens.
think I've cracked the code. And I don't hate this.
Okay.
March 4th, 2025. 1+2 is coming to Game Pass.
Okay.
Then summer, Shadow Drop 3 and 4.
Okay. Fair enough.
Please. Please, everybody.
Number 8, the Wii News. Eurogamer reports GTA 5 will receive a free update on PC next month to bring it in line with the PS5 and Xbox Series X and S. That means it'll receive improved graphic options and faster loading across the game, as well as GTA Online editions like new vehicles and performance upgrades, ambient animals, and more. The upgrade will be available from March 4th. Support for previous versions will continue, Rockstar promised, for those players whose hardware does not meet the minimum requirements.
Cool.
The Hollywood Report. Yeah, you got anything to say to that?
No, that's cool.
Yeah, okay. The Hollywood Reporter reports Sakurai, no, I screwed all that, is kicking it to the street. The filmmaker, perhaps best known for writing, directing, and executive producing The Eric Andre Show, has been tapped to direct Street Fighter, Legendary Entertainment's feature adaptation of the classic video game from Capcom.
I got high hopes, man. That sounds like a fun
good
combination, and I think Street Fighter's due for a good movie, and I think it's going to happen. I think that I will see a good Street Fighter movie in my lifetime.
Wow.
Yeah.
Bold.
I know.
Dune
After
Awakening
Revolution.
is going to launch on May 20th on PC, and a lot of us have been looking forward to that one. We'll see if that MMO pays off. GamesIndustry.biz reports that indie horror mouthwashing tops 500,000 copies sold. Developer Wrong Organ marks the milestone with news the horror game is also coming to consoles. Wario64 reports that Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic 1 and 2 are free on the Epic Games Store mobile. Among Us 3D has been announced. Roger writes, it's basically Among Us VR without the VR. So you got that going for you. Sea of Thieves Season 15, Wild Things, is out today. Deadline reports that Netflix is adapting Sifu into a film with Chad Stahelski, John Wick producing.
I already knew this. I don't know that Netflix was involved.
I think that's the new thing.
But I still hope they put this one in theaters. But we'll see.
And then the final one is, let's look at Samurai Pizza Cats.
Samurai Pizza Cats, Greg. Get in a video game.
I don't know who they are.
Okay. Well, can I pause it real quick? I don't either. You can stop the Wii music if you can. This is one of those weird ones for me. We're growing up in the 90s. You couldn't just go around and watch whatever the hell you wanted. There was no YouTube. There was no Netflix. There was no on-demand at all, right? You were just given whatever was on Channel 12 when you came home from school, all right? And oftentimes, it'd include things like Pokemon and Sailor Moon and all of that. But there was a generation before that, before the big boom of the Fox Kids afternoons, right?
Yeah.
And all that. And it was just the like random stuff where like I'm sitting here watching Garfield and Pound Puppies and like just a bunch of weirdo stuff, right?
Yeah.
And every once in a while, I would see the Samurai Pizza Cats. And I was so confused by it. And this is one of those, the Golden Goose shows for me, where I must have only seen 5 episodes in my entire life. But anytime I turned the TV on, I was hoping it was Samurai Pizza Cats.
Damn. Okay.
Because there's just something so alluring about these goddamn
These
cats.
Pizza Cats, man. You got to know.
So I'm very excited for this. I saw a clip today and I'm like, why does this look perfect?
All right, let's watch this trailer then.
That's crazy. This Samurai Pizza Cats is like your or my Captain Simeon and the
Captain
Space
Simeon
Monkeys.
and the Space Monkeys, yeah.
It's like yeah, let's go.
Welcome back to Little Tokyo, where some big news has just reached the big cheese.
A video game. 30 years later, and these old-fashioned furballs are getting a new video game? These darn Pizza Cats are always stealing my spotlight. I haven't felt this angry since our cartoon show stopped airing on TV.
Calm down, Seymour.
They know what they're doing.
Yeah.
Pizza Cats are getting a new game. That means we will be cast as the main villains, right? Our voice actors are even recording the scene that we're doing right now.
But I'm supposed to be the lead. I'm probably not even going to be a playable character.
Calm calm down, Cheese. I have a plan. We could bribe the animators to draw super powerful.
Like this
robots
looks
for
so good. Like
It does look.
so
I mean, well, this is
authentic.
just animation, right? Like,
Yeah,
what does the
but this-
game look like?
But it's animation that's like
What a brilliant idea.
nailing.
Yeah,
those
100%. It's
style
4x3
things,
and it
like-
looks like cartoons from back in the day.
I'll become the new emperor of little Tokyo once and for all.
The game looks great.
Okay.
We'll get that.
Oh, you cheated. Okay.
Oh no! Isn't there anyone who can stop this cast-off supervillain?
So, the big cheese is up to his old tricks again, huh? Well, we've got 9 lives, plus continues.
And when the game gets tough, you know who to call.
We are the Samurai Pizza Cat!
Look at it.
That's right, ladies and gentlemen.
Okay.
Samurai
Okay,
Pizza
yeah, they
Cats
crushed
are
it.
back with a brand new video game. The Big Cheese has an evil scheme up his sleeve, and it's up to
Dude,
you,
this is
the
adorable.
player, to
Holy
stop
shit.
him from taking over Little Tokyo. Switch between your favorite cats, Speedy, Guido, and Polyester, and get ready for some nostalgic pepperoni action. So put on your best pajamas, because
Dude.
we're going to party like it's
I'm
Okay.
so hyped.
Okay.
This is so cool.
This looks like fun.
Samurai Pizza Cats.
Blast from the past. Who's making it? Oh, there's a whole bunch of stuff under there. In development for all major platforms.
So
Okay.
cool, man.
I'll take it.
Welcome back
I appreciate
to
that. I like that. I like
Little
what they did there. Thank you, Tim, for bringing that to my attention.
You're welcome.
I want to give you one final super chat. Okay.
Okay.
Hold on. Jordan White, you get one thing, okay? You get one thing, but Jordan White needs me first. Super chats and says, Greg, I need your help. Every time my girlfriend watches me kill enemies in video games, she always shames me and says they were just chilling in their natural habitat and I'm the bad guy. Can you please give her a response to Cam 1? Jordan White's girlfriend, it's me, Greg Miller, trending gamer from the Game Awards, host of the DICE Awards, award winner in other places too. You don't need to worry about it. Johnny Boz, South by Southwest. Actually, I guess you have to worry about it. Go update my Wikipedia. I've been in a bunch of video games too. Jordan tells me you have a problem watching him kill enemies in video games. And I need you to understand that usually Jordan's the good guy in the video game. Okay? What do you want him when he's Sonic the Hedgehog to let all of his forest friends be trapped in these robots by Dr. Robotnik? Does that sound like a life you'd like? Because let me pitch this to you. Because I can make this happen if you want. I come to your house and I put you inside a robot. And then Jordan tries to stop me and I say, don't do it. She doesn't want you hurting people, putting people in robots. And he has to go, oh my God, you're right. And then now, guess what? You're trapped inside a robot. This robot, what it does, coffees and vacuums. All right? So we got a vacuum attachment, and then it's got a coffee brewer up here. It looks like the Robotnik suit, the ball thing he always flies around. It's, that except she's like in the core of it. It's powered by Jordan White's girlfriend's body heat, I guess. I don't know. No, she's alive in there. I'm feeding her. I'm slicing ham and I'm putting it through the little vent. You know what I mean? That's what
yeah.
Is that the life you want? Because
Yeah.
Jordan's trying to stop that from happening in video games, but you're getting in the way of it. So I don't think that's what you want. So you should just let him do his thing. Thank you.
Coffee and vacuums.
Because I want more coffee and I need to vacuum.
I understand.
You understand?
The needs of life.
Thank you. That is exactly. But again, Kevin is showing you Dr. Robotnik in his ball thing he flies around in. But again, in mine, it would be covered at the top. There would be a dome over it where Jordan White's girlfriend would be hidden. It would. And again, to be clear, she's eating the ham I'm putting through the vent, and she's just trapped inside. And her body heat is powering it.
As a punishment, does she also have to power the vacuum? As in, like, there's a hose that she's like.
No. I don't see. I don't want. Yeah, no. It's just she's in.
Maybe
she's
the
in
coffee.
Because I don't.
The coffee. She has to put her hand and press it down.
I haven't watched as much Sonic the Hedgehog cartoons as y'all have. But my thing, when I was playing the games, because I was a big Sonic kid, as a Sega kid, of course, I always assumed the squirrels and bunnies inside the machine weren't like doing anything other than be like, holy shit, I'm in this fucking robot and somehow it's powering me. They weren't caught. They weren't the enemy because Sonic, boosh, knocks it, hits the big button, and then they all just come out.
Yeah.
So they were always chill when they came out. Well, I mean, they didn't come out like rabid, like they were gonna attack.
When any bad guy you kill, you jump on one, little animal flies out of it.
And that's
too,
what I'm saying.
so.
But I don't think the enemy, like when they're in there, I don't think they're mind controlled. I think Robotnik just came up with some kind of bioenergy thing.
I'm gonna be honest. This is stuff I should have the answers to, and I don't. I'm a little.
Kevin sounds like he's got something. Kev, what do you got?
Well, I mean, you didn't think that they had like it was a bunny because they run around a lot. So I think it was like one of those things where it's a track inside and they move and that powers them up.
Fair enough.
That's what I always assume.
And that's what I'm saying is there's something going on there. I'll be straight up with you.
Yeah.
I got a wife and a kid. I got a successful business. I can't build a robot big enough for Jordan's girlfriend to run in it. So
we can make it
she's
together.
it's gonna be very tight.
gonna be
She's
a
got to be in the
small
fetal
crawl.
position. You know what I mean?
But Greg, that's why I was saying you make her the vacuum. It's not going to be a strong vacuum, but she's going to suffer. You know what I mean? The coffee
guess,
maker,
yeah.
she has to press down on the hot water.
She's got to squeeze the ground.
Yeah, with the hot water.
See, I don't like that because then you burn your hand. Like, I'm not trying.
That's the point.
I'm not trying to punish.
Why are you going to have to?
I'm not trying to hurt Jordan's girlfriend.
You wanna
I'm
make
just
it a
pointing out the
comfortable
fact
thing?
that Jordan's a good guy. Jordan's the good guy.
If you make it too comfortable, they're never going to leave. They're going to just live in this
We
ball.
move on to kindafunny.com/you're wrong, where people can tell us what we screw up as we screw it up. Nexus says, I'm broke, so I can't super chat, but Tony Hawk himself responded to the Call of Duty tweet.
Stop it.
What did he say here?
What did he
I got a
say?
link.
What did Tony Hawk say?
Tony Hawk.
What does he know? Does he
Tony
know
Hawk
anything?
just did the eyes emoji. He did the
Oh
eyes
my God,
emoji.
he did.
It's
It's happening,
scenario.
man.
Woo! Kebab says a super chat, I'm sorry, a you're wrong. That isn't a you're wrong, but context I appreciate. To explain why Samurai Pizza Cats is so infamous, the dub didn't have access to the original scripts, so they threw away any resemblance to accuracy out the window and just made it a gag dub.
I mean, that's very
pretty
clear,
cool.
even from what we saw there.
like that a
Dude,
lot.
yeah, I just love the vibes, man.
Hell yeah, everybody. That's another episode of Kinda Funny Games Daily in the bank. If you had fun, why not go to your bank account and give us $10. Of course, you'd keep the lights and mics on for our 11-person small business, all about live talk shows where we talk about video games all day long. You can pick up a membership on patreon.com/kindafunny, youtube.com/kindafunnygames, Spotify or Apple. You get all of our shows ad-free, the ability to watch the afternoon podcast like in review when we go to Predator Town today. That sounds weird. And then, of course, you get your daily dose of me, Gregway. Don't think I ain't got some gems up my sleeve. Don't think I ain't got some new good segments for you out there. You know what I mean? I digress. Like I said, this is all live talk shows. So if you are watching live, we're about to interview Matt Piscatella from Circana about if the video game industry is doomed. You can catch that later on the Gamescast feed. And of course, after that, you will be getting a stream. It is Avowed with NVIDIA DLSS 4 from our friends at NVIDIA doing a sponsored stream. Excited about that. But for now, that's the end of Kinda Funny Games Daily. We will see you for this show tomorrow to start your programming day on Friday. So until next time, it's been our pleasure to serve you.